Hi guys, thanks for joining me today. I'm Marilyn and my channel is Making with Marilyn. Now earlier this month I got a 12 needle Smartstitch embroidery machine. I went through my training and after that I started stitching out all kinds of things on just scrap fabric. After several of those, I ended up doing my first project just a few days ago. It was a mug rug. It turned out nicely, so I was ready to move on to something larger. So for my second real project, I embroidered on this little baby blanket. So it's up in the corner of this baby blanket. I plan to do a video talking more about receiving the machine, the training, the customer support that I've received, but in today's video, I really just want to stick to this project. So if this is something you're interested in seeing, sit back, relax, and let's get started. Here's the screen of my Smartstitch 12 needle machine, and I want to show you from start to finish how I do this design. Now I have already brought the design into Smartstitch. If you're interested in seeing how to do that, I'm happy to do another video, but I'm going to try to keep this one on point today and not get distracted by a lot of side things. Let's go ahead and turn it on so that you see what it looks like when it comes on. Now the first question is, please confirm frame origin recovery. I always just click the green check mark, and that is taking the frame over to the far left side. This is the last design that I stitched out. So what we need to do is we need to go find the design that we're going to do today. So we're going to click on this little thing that looks like a file with a pink flower. I have two Cameron Lane designs, but I like this one a little bit better. So we're going to use that. We'll click on it. Then we're going to click on this green button with the pink flower. Now here is where you can change a few things, and I don't mess with these. The only one that I've messed with is this direction. So if you're hooping something where you need to actually stitch it upside down, you can click on this F until it gets to the position that you want. So there's the upside down. And I believe there's about 8 different positions. I'm going to click it till I get back to just regular straight up and down status. You can also rotate the direction of the design and several other things that I have not messed with. Now we can click the green check mark and you see it's changed to Cameron Lane. Now right now this is pink. This is where you set up your designs. Once we have it all set up, we're going to click on this and change it to blue, and that's the embroidery state. But for now we're going to check some other things. Let's look at the speed. I have mine slowed down to 700 because I'm new to this machine and I just wanted to go a little bit more slowly. As I do more and more with the machine, I'm sure I'll probably change that to go faster, but for now I like it at 700. So we're going to click back. This came in using spool or position number 11 and 12. On 11 I have a bright pink, on 12 I have a light pink. You can see what it looks like there. This is light pink. It kind of looks peachy, but it is light pink. I'm fine with those. If I wanted to change those colors, you'd click right here and you could change the position of any of these colors. I'm not going to do that. We're just going to stay with what it was. But here's my list of colors I have available to me, and then here's the 2 steps of my design. So I have bright pink and light pink. I'll click the check mark to say OK. Let's go back till we get to the main screen. Then this is a nice feature here. I'll go over it in another video, but basically you can have it in auto mode where it changes the machine to the next color and starts automatically. You can have it in what I'd call a semi-automatic mode, and that's where it changes to the correct color, but you have to press start before the needle comes down and stitches. That is very handy when you're doing applique and you need to put your fabric on. Then there's also a totally manual mode. I've never used that, but that's where you have to pick your color each time and you have to start the stitch each time. Now I like everything I see, so I'm going to click on the pink. This is the setup mode. I don't know that that's the official word, but that's where you can get everything ready. So we'll click on pink. It's asking me change to embroidery confirmation status, and I want to confirm that I'm ready to embroider. So I'll click that. Also it asks whether to save the current design origin setting. I'm going to go in here and actually center mine. So let's just hit X. Restore origin. I don't really care to do that either. Now it's saying the design may overframe. That's because right now it's not in the center. So let's look at it. You click right here. There's two things important on this. Let's make sure we have the right frame selected. Mine's number 12, so I'll hit page down. It is selected, so I'm just going to confirm that. It's asking me, do I want to switch the embroidery frame? That will move the frame to the center point. Let's go ahead and center on that frame. You can see it moved the design over. Now, if the design wasn't in the center, let me just get it off center. And these buttons are actually moving the frame, not the design, even though it looks like it's the design moving. It turned red because my design is too far to the right. So I can click right here, and that puts it right back in the center. For this design, I want this up in the frame just a little bit. Remember I said when you use these buttons, it actually moves the frame. So before I show you that, let me go ahead and get my hoop on, and I'll show you what I mean by that. Okay, so I put a little tape on that so that it'll stay put. Also, you might want yours to stitch in a different orientation. Mine is going to be readable from the middle of the blanket. You might want yours rotated so that it faces the corner of the blanket. Let me look at my bobbin, make sure I have bobbin. I check my bobbin thread to make sure it looks like I have enough bobbin, and it does. So now let me show you what I meant. The frame is what's moving. The design is not moving. So to get my design further back, I need to move the frame forward. So I'm going to click right here. Let me grab my little tool here. Let's keep going a little bit. And I can't go too far because remember I have that excess blanket taped down. So here's what I can do. I can do what's called framing this. To frame it, you click right here, and I have two options. I can either move the frame just around the perimeter in a rectangle or square, or I can have it follow all the details. I'm not sure why that says it's locked right now, so I'll look into that. Let's go ahead and frame around the perimeter of it. Okay, I'm going to do two things. I'm going to move the camera a little bit, and then I'm going to turn off this light because I think it makes it where you can't really see it. To turn off the light, you just click right here. Let's go ahead and frame this again. You can watch two things. You can watch where the needle is. Right now it is position number 11, which is right here. So it's this needle right here. Or I can watch this laser. You can accidentally bump that laser, and if it gets out of position, you just turn it and you put it right back where it needs to be. All right, let's click on frame. I'm good with that, so I'm going to hit this back button, and now we're ready to start. To start the stitch out, I'll press right here. Because this is a fleece blanket and it's not a real flat or smooth fabric, I want to do one more thing. I'm going to place this water-soluble stabilizer on top. And I don't think this is necessary, but I'm still going to tape it down on both sides. All right, sorry about that. I stepped in front of the camera, so I went ahead and cut that part out. I think that looks good. Let me go ahead and hit the start button. All right, watch here. It's going to cut the thread and it's going to move over, and I'm going to stop the machine real quick. Okay, it is stopped. I just want to kind of pull this, make it a little more smooth. And all I did was I hit the red stop button, the one that's right there by that green start button, and now I'll hit the green start button again. Now there's a little weird something right there. I'm not too concerned about it, but there are some gaps in the C. So there's a backup function. Now right here is where you can back up by a stitch, you can go forward by a stitch, you can back up by 10, you can go forward by 10. Right now it's set to 10 at a time. Let's click on that because I need to go way back. Let's just do 80. Let's see how long it takes to get back to where I need it to be. Okay, says it's invalid. Oh, I'll bet it's because I'm done with the design. I should have stopped it sooner. Here's what it looks like really close. I see a little issue right there. I saw something similar up in my Y, and then there's some gaps here. So here's what I should have done. After I saw those gaps, I should have stopped it, and then I should have backed up the stitches, and I should have redone that. Since I'm through the entire design, I would have to start the design over, fast forward to it, and try to find where it is. So that's what I'm trying to do. Let me show you the screen here. I just acted like I was starting the design over, but I stopped it before it did any stitches. And now I'm going forward by 80. I wonder how many it'd let me go forward. Let me see if I can go forward by, let's say, 1,000. Yeah. Okay, I can go up to a really large number. So we're going to go by 1,000. Now that is really cool. You can see where you are up here. Hopefully you can see that. Let me turn off this light. So watch here. When I press the forward button, it's going to go forward by 1,000 stitches. And when it does, you probably couldn't see it, but the frame's actually moving as if it's stitching, but it's not stitching. All right, I'm going to change that number. Let's go 200. I'm getting close to where I need to be. Okay, I feel like I'm fairly close, but I'm going to back it up just a little bit. You guys, this is the first time I've used this feature. This is so cool. All right, this is where I'm going to start. I hope this works. Okay, I went way too far back, but I don't have a choice now. We just have to let it run out. Now I feel like I can stop there, and that looks so much better than it looked. Wonder if I can fix this part over here. I'm going to play around. I know you don't want to watch all this forward and backward and forward and backward, so let me fix what I think needs fixing, and then I'll take this out of the hoop and I'll show you what it looks like. Here's the blanket, and I am so happy with this. And I learned a lot using that backwards and forward feature to fix some of the little flaws. So I can't say I'm happy I have the flaws, but I am happy I learned how to fix the flaws. This is only my second real project on this, and I think for my second project, it looks pretty good. I'm sure I'll get better with tension and all of that, but I'm very happy with this. So let's go ahead and take off this water-soluble stabilizer, or maybe it's called a water-soluble topper, I'm not sure. But you use this when you're doing things that aren't just real smooth and flat. So things like fleece, things like towels, fabrics that have a texture to them. And then to get it off, it just tears off. Now it's called water soluble because it will, well, what does soluble mean? It'll melt. It'll disintegrate with water. But the best way to do this, in my opinion, is go ahead and rip off as much as you can. And then if you have some small areas that you need to dab with a wet cloth, you can do that. But it does become kind of gummy. And so I think you're better off getting as much off as possible just by ripping it. So let me go ahead and clean up the rest of this. Now at first glance it looks like that came out really cleanly. I do see one little piece here that I could work on after the video, except that actually it came out. Now at one point when I was moving threads around, I failed to trim the thread before moving it. And so I see a little piece of the bobbin right where that happened. So we're just going to pull that through and trim it off. That's totally my fault and just due to a lack of experience. But I would rather experiment and take risks on a $1.25 blanket versus a $20+ sweatshirt. Now let's see, how's the hoop burn? It's actually not too bad. I am super happy with how this turned out, and I appreciate you guys being here for the video. I'm going to do more videos using this multi-needle machine. I'm excited on seeing what I can do with it. So thank you guys so much for being here today. I hope you enjoyed the video, and until my next one, bye-bye.